What if your Uber ride home turned out to be your last journey on Earth? A chilling proposition, isn't it? But for some, this hypothetical turned out to be a horrifying reality. In our world, we place our trust in services like Uber every day, confident in the belief that we're safe. But what happens when that trust is betrayed in the most gruesome way possible? Let's delve into the harrowing tale of the killer Uber driver. Appearances can be deceiving, and our killer Uber driver was a master of deception. This man, who we'll call John Doe for the sake of this story, was a master of blending in. He maintained an average rating, always greeted his passengers with a smile, and knew just the right amount of small talk to make. On the surface, John Doe was the epitome of an unassuming, friendly neighborhood driver. But beneath that facade, he was anything but ordinary. Psychopaths, like our killer Uber driver, are often remarkably adept at maintaining a veneer of normalcy. They're able to mimic emotions and behaviors they don't truly feel, fooling those around them into believing they're just like everyone else. Think of Ted Bundy, a charming law student who was in fact a ruthless serial killer, or John Wayne Gacy, a beloved community volunteer who moonlighted as a monstrous predator. These men were able to hide their true nature behind a mask of normalcy, just like John Doe. John Doe's ability to blend in was a crucial part of his modus operandi. He used his position as an Uber driver to gain the trust of his victims. They saw him as a safe, reliable way to get home, completely unaware of the danger they were in. He exploited this trust, turning an everyday service into a sinister trap. But what made John Doe particularly chilling was his ability to switch between these two personas, the friendly driver and the ruthless killer. One moment he was helping a passenger with their luggage, and the next he was planning his next heinous act. This duality is what made him such a terrifying figure, able to hide in plain sight and strike when least expected. Beneath the mask of a helpful driver lurked a cold-blooded killer. This chilling reality serves as a stark reminder that danger can often come from the most unexpected places. And sometimes the face of evil may be hiding behind the wheel of your next Uber ride. As night fell, the Uber app buzzed to life, signaling the start of a sinister hunt. In the darkness, a predator lurked, hidden behind the guise of a friendly, reliable Uber driver. His name and face were ordinary, as was his car, yet his intentions were far from normal. Each night, the hunter prowled the city streets, his eyes fixed on the glowing screen of his smartphone, waiting for the next ride request. His method was simple, yet chillingly effective. He would select his victims not by their appearance but by their vulnerability. The lone traveler returning from a late-night party, the weary office worker heading home after a long day, the unsuspecting student, all became his potential prey. His weapon of choice was not a knife or a gun, but trust. He exploited the trust we place in technology, in the promise of a safe ride home. He lured his victims into his car with a friendly smile and a comforting greeting. He would strike up a conversation, skillfully navigating through their defenses, making them feel at ease. His victims, unaware of the imminent danger, would relax into the car's plush seats, their guards lowered. The city outside would become a blur as they were whisked away, the familiar sights and sounds fading into the night. The car would glide through the streets, the driver's hands steady on the wheel, his eyes reflecting the cold, calculated mind of a predator. Meanwhile, the victims, engrossed in their phones or lost in their thoughts, would remain oblivious to the change en route. They would not notice the car veering off the beaten path, heading towards a destination they had not chosen. And then, when the car would finally stop, it would be too late. They would find themselves trapped in a nightmare, their pleas for help swallowed by the silent city night. Unaware of the lurking danger, the victims stepped into the car, sealing their tragic fate. As the body count rose, so did the alarm. The hunt for the killer Uber driver was on. The investigation into this chilling series of murders was both complex and challenging. The police were faced with a predator who used the anonymity of a rideshare service as his hunting ground. The victims, all unsuspecting passengers, shared no obvious connection, making it difficult for investigators to identify a pattern. The first breakthrough in the case came when detectives started combing through the digital breadcrumbs. By cross-referencing the victims' final Uber rides with the times and locations of their disappearances, they began to narrow down a list of potential suspects. But the anonymity of the digital world presented its own set of challenges. The driver in question had created numerous accounts, each under a different alias, making it a Herculean task to pin down a single individual. As the net tightened, the police worked tirelessly to piece together the fragments of evidence. They trawled through hours of CCTV footage, painstakingly cross-referencing it with GPS data from the suspect's Uber rides. They interviewed scores of other Uber drivers and passengers, hoping to glean any information that could lead them to their man. The case took a turn when a tech-savvy officer suggested a different approach. They decided to use the same technology that the killer was using to hide his tracks. Using advanced data analysis techniques, they managed to isolate patterns in the suspect's modus operandi. This led them to a short list of potential suspects, all of whom had suspicious patterns of activity. The final piece of the puzzle fell into place when one of these suspects was linked to a vehicle seen in multiple CCTV footages near the crime scenes. The vehicle's distinctive features matched those described by a couple of passengers who had reported uncomfortable rides. The net was closing in, but could they catch the killer Uber driver before he struck again? The chase ended, but the nightmare was far from over. The capture of the so-called killer Uber driver marked the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter of justice and retribution. The public watched in stunned silence as the trial unfolded, the gruesome details of the crime sending shivers down the spine of even the most hardened observer. The prosecution painted a chilling picture of a predator hiding in plain sight, using the convenience of modern technology to lure unsuspecting victims into his deadly trap. The defense, on the other hand, attempted to humanize the monster, arguing a troubled past and mental instability. However, the mountain of evidence proved insurmountable, and the jury needed little time to reach a unanimous verdict, guilty on all counts. As the gavel fell, the courtroom echoed with a mix of relief and sorrow. Relief for the end of a terrifying reign of terror, and sorrow for the lives brutally cut short, for the families left grappling with an unimaginable loss. The victims' families could only watch as the man who had taken so much from them was led away, his fate sealed behind bars. Yet their journey was far from over. They had to live with the memory of their loved ones, their laughter, their dreams, all stolen away in the most horrific manner. In the wake of the trial, Uber faced intense scrutiny and public outrage. The company was forced to confront its lax safety protocols that had allowed such a predator to infiltrate their ranks. Sweeping changes were implemented, with stringent background checks and improved safety measures becoming the new norm. Yet, despite these changes, the haunting memory of the killer Uber driver continues to cast a long, ominous shadow over our sense of security. It serves as a grim reminder of the dangers that lurk in the most unexpected places, in the shadows of our everyday lives. Justice was served, but the shadow of the killer Uber driver still looms. It's a chilling reminder that while we may move on, we must never forget the lessons learned from this tragic chapter of our collective history. In the digital age, trust is a double-edged sword. This tale of the killer Uber driver is a chilling reminder of the dangerous side of our connected world. Our reliance on digital platforms and the ease with which we entrust our safety to strangers is a testament to the leaps we've made in technology. But it also exposes us to risks we may not always be prepared for. The tragic case we've unraveled today highlights the importance of staying vigilant. It's crucial to be mindful of our surroundings, to check and double-check the details, and to listen to our instincts. You cannot stress enough the importance of personal safety, especially when using ride-sharing apps. The digital age, while offering convenience, also demands caution. It's a world where a 5-star rating may not always guarantee a safe ride home. This tale serves as a harsh reminder that danger can lurk in the most ordinary places, even in the backseat of an Uber. So, we must learn from this. We must remember to stay safe, to stay alert, because not all rides lead home. If you enjoyed this chilling tale, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. And for more spine-tingling stories, hit that subscribe button. Until next time.